Does that sound better? A little better? No? Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Let me know. Ah, see? You know what happens is like when I try to set up these lives, it instantly does like a default video coming from the selfie camera. Which I don't know what the fuck that's about. It's just stupid. But I put a piece of tape over that because I was like, I'm sick of trying to look at the setup and then all of a sudden I realized the camera's on my face. So I put a little piece of tape on it. Like a tinfoil hat conspiracy dude on their cameras or whatever. And I think there's a mic next to that selfie cam. So that might have been getting covered by the tape. But yeah, anyway, I was saying about this Bob Ross dude. There's like a husband and wife that like stole this dude's fortune, and I think his kid doesn't get shit, and like there's a channel on TV, there's a YouTube channel all exploiting this dude's life and his videos and his paintings. And like I think this dude died like with like no rights to his own shit. And it's crazy when you think about it. Because I think everybody in my age group, or I don't know, everyone's pretty much knows who Bob Ross is. But yeah, they fucking stole this dude's whole shit. Like how fucked up is that? Grimy. So I try not to support any of the stuff out there for that. Energy drinks and shit for Bob Ross energy drinks. Or like stupid shit. See all this merchandise out there for Bob Ross and you think you're supporting him and it's just going to this scumbag husband and wife who took his contractually fucked him. Like scammed him on some shit, I think, and his son's not even seeing a penny of that shit, which is even more fucked up. So trying to keep control of all my own media, put these videos out there for historical reasons, archives, and who knows who sees this shit 20 years from now. That's why the reason why we rack Bob Ross products. Nice. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I think he has like a fucking paint brush line or acrylic paints or some shit like that. It's fucked up because you think you're like, oh shit, Bob Ross, I'm gonna support him, his family, his legacy. And I think it's just like going to some husband and some wrinkly old husband and wife who fucked them over. If you watch this documentary, I think it's on like Netflix or some shit, you'll pick up on some fuckery that's definitely going on. So, yeah, I think it was a different time, 70s, 80s. I don't think people were hip to like people out to get you and fuck you in the fine print when it came to like contracts and shit. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit because I'm doing some detail work. I think that'll be better. What do you guys think? So it was muffled before. You could hear anything. I feel like I was just rambling, but some good content about my man Dan Green who passed away. I hope that kind of came across. He was super influential. If you know anything about me, I'm sure his name will be coming up again. Close family friend, growing up. Got to see him through the years. He worked on a lot of stuff in the 80s, but one of his, I think a milestone for him was Doctor Strange. He did a really great watercolor graphic novel called Into Shambhala. thing about graphic novels, which I kind of take for granted, is it's a thing that's out a lot now. But there was an era where Marvel was sort of like the first, I think it was the first to kind of bring out graphic novels. And they were really glorified comic books, like almost like works of art. And so it was a big fucking deal to get the green light from Marvel to do like a standalone Doctor Strange story. So him and J.M. DeMatteis, or DeMatteis, I don't know how he says his name, was the writer. He's still around, really epic comic writer to this day. And they worked on this project called Into Shambhala, yeah, Doctor Strange watercolor book. Really, really gorgeous pages. Yeah, that's the guy I wrote about in my bio. But you know, as a kid, this guy would bring in these watercolor pages like every day to my mom's job, where he was working on the Doctor Strange book. I think it was like 86 or 85. I don't remember. I was a kid. And then like years later, I saw the book. And so he was doing that on the side of his other gigs. He was doing like inking, like maybe 1 or 2 issues a month. So he was a hard worker. This guy was grinding and working on this watercolor project with DeMatteis, JM. And, you know, this guy was just like, to see this shit later was crazy. But fast forward, the Doctor Strange movie came out. So I made a plan with him to come upstate and go check this movie. And I was kind of I wasn't really ready for like how, you know, he was kind of in his older years. I'm guessing, if I had to kind of put myself in his position, he was like worn out on like comic industry work. He had voiced to me a few times about how like the healthcare issues in the company, and Marvel didn't really, unless you were like a superstar artist, they weren't really taking care of their artists. And I'm not here to bash Marvel, because, you know, they're responsible for a lot. But, you know, if I could say the things that he told me about like Stan Lee and shit, dude, it's kind of like, for me as like a little fanboy kid, it was kind of like hard. But I look back, you know, he was an official dude. But anyway, so I got to see Doctor Strange with him in the movie theater when it first came out. It was kind of like a nice little reunion. And he was not happy with that movie, man. Let me tell you. I loved it. It was all about it. I loved all those Marvel movies. Some shits were dope to me. I felt like a little kid again reading comics when I came out. It was like a whole new revival of like the feeling I had as a kid collecting comics. But yeah, he just was not happy the way it was portrayed, I guess. I don't know. But I'm happy with the time I got to spend with him. Got to go see Doctor Strange. Thought that was pretty cool. I wasn't really working on my own comics at the time. I was just still doing my thing as a writer, graffiti dude. What was one of the dopest visually? Oh, the movie itself. Yeah, there was a cool. It had like a good CGI. I mean, you're picking up a topic like that. You better have some fucking buildings bending in the background and reality and shit. Yeah, they definitely did a good job visually. They rushed it. I watched it again somewhat recently, and I do realize they fucking rushed through that story to get him to be doing some crazy shit. But he, that's a good story. What's his name? Cumberbatch? He's a good actor. I think he plays a good Doctor Strange. I don't know what's going on with Marvel these days. Doing hit or miss, man. Fucking up. What's going on, Beasley? What's going on, Carlos? looks nervous as shit. Look at him. Hand all fucked up. I don't know what it is, man. Just love drawing weird ass hands. And back to this guy Bisley, who I always thought had an incredible grasp on doing hands. And the last time I saw him, he just went on a tangent about how hands are hard to draw. And I was like, is this guy trolling me? What are you talking about? This guy does some of the dopest hands I've seen. I don't know what he was talking about. He's like, hands are hard. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? You look at his work, he's got some of the dopest hands going back to the 90s. I'm like, this guy was never whack. What the fuck is he talking about? This guy had a grasp on hands back in like 90, 91. ABC Warrior shit. Anyway, I try to do weird hands. Yeah, it condensed the story. That's kind of the problem with these Marvel movies. They're just so ambitious. And they just assume everybody's not going to know shit about the characters, so they got to catch everybody up to speed. But yeah, it's just part of it, I guess. So you went to the museum, huh? Down there? Carlos. You said something the other day. Yesterday, I think. You went with your daughter, I believe. To see, you said Tracy? You said Tracy was talking? I don't remember what you said. Oh, there you go. I was saying you went to the museum. Museum of Graffiti down there in Miami. Something about seeing somebody talk. I don't remember what you said. Let's move this up a little. Yeah, man, took my girls to meet Revolt. Oh, Revolt. That's what it was. What's that guy up to? I haven't seen him in like 10 years. It's funny, I used to go to a bunch of shows in New York City. Like art shows, like I went to a Ramal Z show right after he passed. I think his wife might have organized it with the Deitch Gallery or something. And I think I went to a Shepard Fairey Obey gallery show, and I would always bump into Debbie Harry from Blondie. She's old now, but like, you know, to me, she was like that staple singer from the 80s, like all the movies and shit. So she was like that chick that was in the downtown scene back then. And I would always bump into her at these shows, and she would never remember me, but she would always see me and she'd go, you know, you look like a young Revolt. You know who Revolt is? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And she was like, you look like a young Revolt. And I never knew what he looked like as a kid, but I always laughed at that shit, because I'd see her like 6 months later and she'd come up and say the same thing. I always got a kick out of that. People would laugh. If you know me, I usually get something else. People always say I look like somebody else, but she would always say, you look like a young Revolt. And I know Revolt now, so I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That's cool. Revolt getting some time in the sun down there. You're doing prints. They go pick one up signed. Oh, that's dope. Yeah, it's funny. Revolt is, he's one of them dudes, man. He's been around for a long time. I think he did the YOMTV Raps logo, I believe. I could be wrong. It might be somebody else, but I think he did the YOMTV Raps logo, which obviously, if you're my age group, we all know what that is. He's been around for ages, man. How did he come off? Was he a cool dude? Humble? Was he out of the touch? You've been Tony Stark since a teen. Yeah, tell me about it. I've been getting that shit for years, dude. Not so much these days. It comes and goes. The Tony Stark of fucking graffiti. It's pretty funny. But so Revolt was cool. What'd you think of him? How was he towards people that came out to support? Curious. I wonder with these guys when they get older, how they're gonna treat people and stuff. Super humble. Spoke on Wildstar cover he designed. That's cool. Yeah, he's got to get up. He's got to be getting up there, man. A lot of these dudes, a lot of these OGs are like really getting old. It's crazy. It was a bunch of years. I was just seeing these guys all over, man. I was in Vegas. I'd see Revolt getting flown out by some clothing brand. I'd be in LA. I'd see him. I'd see him in New York. All these dudes, man. It's just, you take it for granted. Futura. I would see these guys all over for years. And you know, Tracy 168. We just lost him. People are passing, man. It's that time. The old guard. A lot of these dudes are getting up there, man. I look at Futura, I'm like, fuck, man, this guy's doing his thing. He's getting his due, his props and shit. But he's no spring chicken, man. He's taking care of himself, I hope. I don't see these guys too often anymore. But I've had good experiences with them over the years. Yeah, he's dope. Revolt's that dude, man. He's got that signature block letter thing he's been doing for decades. He's got characters. He's got a wide variety of history behind under his belt. A little bit of comic nerd shit. I don't know if anybody knows, but there's a guy named Mark Texiera in the 90s. Early 90s, he was doing, I think, maybe Ghost Rider, maybe some Wolverine stuff. I forget exactly what he was known for. But yeah, somebody said that Revolt went to school with Mark Texiera. And I always felt that was a cool little bit of history. A little nugget. I'm gonna find out one day, I'll ask him. Yeah, Futura's a dope dude, man. Can't say enough about that guy. It's crazy. He's, you know, he's just the dude, man. He's just that dude. I went to Indonesia with him back in the day, 2005 maybe. We flew out, got the red carpet treatment, man. Let me tell you. The hosts on the other side, when we came off the airplane, they had military there, like police guys. I don't know what we want to call them, with signs waiting for us at the bottom of the steps. Came off the plane, jet lagged. Flying to Indonesia is no joke. Probably like 18, 19 hours. And we came off the plane. We come down these steps, and there's like one dude with a sign and like 3 police officers. And I was like, oh shit! I was kind of nervous for a second. And he's like, you know, it was like an entourage waiting for us. And they were like, yo, please give us your passports and walk with us. And I'm kind of like speechless. I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know what's going on. I look over to him. I was like, yo, has this ever happened to you? Because I figure he's like the superstar, right? And he looks at me and goes, no. He goes like, this has never happened to me. So as we're walking, we had our liaison picking us up, telling us what we're going to do. He's like, don't worry, your passports are fine. They're going to go get stamped. We're going to escort you through the airport. And we get to the customs line where all the customs people are waiting at customs. And they walk us all along the side on the right. And we walk down along the wall. And this little door opens up. And they walk us right through this little door. I was like, what the fuck is this treatment? We get back on the other side of the wall. This guy hands us our passports back stamped. I was like, holy shit. I was like, that's some diplomatic, you know, privilege type shit. It was because the organizer of the event, I guess his pops was in like politics. So I think this was like a little pet project he wanted to do, was bring out some artists into like this event. So me and Futura came from New York, and I just assumed that was norm, the norm, but he was like, nah, dude. He's like, I've never seen any privilege like this. Yeah, it was a crazy time. It was really crazy. Another time at that same event, we were at this, we did like a live painting event in this big sneaker show event. And in the middle, the whole thing was like, we're going to paint for an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. And we're like separated, and there's a crowd in the middle. Maybe like 50 feet in the middle of us is just a huge crowd of people. We're like the two live acts on the side. And then like at the end, they're like, we're gonna bring you guys together and take pictures at the end. You almost ready to finish? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And they're like, one guy escorts me through the crowd, somebody else is escorting Lenny through the crowd, and we get to the middle, and I'm like, you know, trying to ham it up or whatever and do the social. I guess it was for the promoter to kind of promote, take pictures, and use the images and the video. And we're kind of like posing for some pictures. There's people are bringing shoes to Lenny and Futuras to like to sign things. And it just started, and we got this big security dude. This guy's like 6 something, and it just started getting a little weird. Like all these people are like starting to push a little, and it's getting like a little weird frenzy thing going on. And I'm like, what's going on here? This is a little weird. And it started getting to like some crazy pushing and shoving type thing. And they were like, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta get you out of here. And so this big security and this other guy's like bringing us through this crowd, pushing people out the way, and it's like this weird signing. There's shoe boxes getting signed, and I'm signing books, and it was like I'm like getting moved by the crowd like a fucking like in a little sea of like movement, and I'm like, this is nuts. We gotta go. And they bring us to like some side door of this event, and they open the door and like, go outside, come back in through the VIP entrance, and we walk out, and the door closes behind us, and all the people are stuck inside, and then it's immediately quiet, and it's just me and him outside. And I was like, what the fuck was that? He goes, yo, this is crazy. He's like, this place is wild. And so that was just like a wild experience that I got to have with him. And then we flew back to New York. I think it was like my first 24-hour flight. We went through Germany. Was it Germany? Yeah, I think we went through Germany. And then I think we flew back into JFK, all crusty and fucking jet lagged. But yeah, I got some good experiences with him. He's still around. I'm very happy to have those memories. He's a good dude. He's killing it with the BMW and Louis Vuitton, and everything else that dude touches is gold, man. Had my MJ moment. Yeah, it was weird times, dude. Strange, very strange. When I think back, it's like dreamlike almost. And he's one of the few people that I'll let take a picture of me. So he's got like some cool photos of me. In a club, we were like in clubs and shit out there chilling. He's like taking selfies and shit. He's like one of those dudes that I'll let him take a picture of me. But yeah, the old school, man. They're getting up there. I wrote a book. I'm trying to get him to do a quote, or not a quote, but I'm trying to get his words in my book about art and design high school and his experience with school as a youth, and how any of that played into the development of early graffiti on the trains. Like Mayer and these guys went to art and design high school. I think like Lady Pink and I don't know. It's a bunch of people in the years of graffiti, early years, went to art and design. I think Doze Green. Who else? I don't know. There's a bunch of dudes that went to like art and design, and I always wondered how that played into their graph on trains. Because that's kind of like a high school formative art training that these kids had, inner city kids. So I think he went to a print school, a printing, like a old school print machine high school in like the 70s or some shit. So I spoke to him about it. I just said I wanted to follow back up and get some really good quotables from him about it. Just haven't really reached out. I probably should follow up on that. But, you know, got 50 million projects going on. These kids are super creative. Yeah, there's a Tabitha and, what's the kid's name? I forget. I can't think. But yeah, he's a sick photographer, I think, right? He's doing stuff with Nike, taking helicopters around and shit. But, yeah, it's wild, man. I knew those, I kind of saw them around back in the day when they were like little kids. And then bam, they're like adults. It's wild. Where you at, Carlos? Where are you in? You're in Florida, right? I'm gonna be coming down, I think, in December. My boy is in, I think, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale. I'm gonna be painting down there and then doing a week training for technical gun certificate, concealed carry permit, and all that stuff. Fort Myers, always in Miami. That's cool. Where's Fort Myers? Is that on the East Coast or West Coast? My MJ moment. That's funny. Just throw a little $100 bill right here flying, showing some speed. This guy's out. Oh, so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. I'll let you know when I come down. If you want, we can kind of do that together. I want to get my concealed carry. It goes across state lines. And New York is one of the states that respects the permit. New York State, not New York City. But a lot of states. So you know my man Tech. Yeah, we got a long overdue. Yeah, we'll talk, man. We're talking on Instagram and shit like that, so we can definitely plan it out. I got a lot going on, so December might be a good time for me to get out of New York, but I'm not actually sure if it's gonna work, man. I've got a lot of personal things going on right now, and I think he's on tour with the Rennie Harris Roman Jules show, but I gotta catch him when he comes back. Figure it out. Just did a pretty cool logo for him. Let me show it to you if I can find it. Trying to give him some branding for his projects that he does. If you know him, you know what I'm talking about. So just did this little guy. It's kind of like a artsy piece for his merch and stuff. So patches and shirt designs. Yeah, you know what's up, Carlos. Oh, I didn't know what you how in depth you knew about stuff. That's cool. Yeah, text the homie, man. Go way back. He's in my book. Talk about him heavily in my book. He's one of my first students, man. I know it sounds weird because, you know, we're both like students of b-boying and we got our own history together. But I taught him a lot about his early graffiti stuff. And he helped me analyze the stuff I was talking about. We just got back from Japan. Was that in July? Fucking swamp out there, hot. It's an understatement. So we got to talk about some shit out there and kick it. Back to New York, man. I'm trying to get this YouTube broadcast stuff popping. I don't know, is it something you think people would be into doing this live stuff. I enjoy it. I draw anyway, so as long as I can get comfortable with filming and talking, I think I can make something out of this. If nothing else, archive reasons. Just leave it up. People can check it. People can check the process. Look back at this shit years from now. I know I'll get a kick out of it. I'm trying to find other friends of mine that are on Instagram or on YouTube that can do the split screen 2-for-1 kind of collaborative lives. Got my boy Dre. I think my man Sean Crystal does podcasts. I don't know if he's really set up to do lives, but I'm gonna reach out to him, see if he's down. He's a comic book dude. Ink Pulp podcast. If you guys know about that, you gotta check it for sure. Him, Eric Canetti, Jim Mafu, they got a good podcast going on. Those dudes are a riot. I used to like just sit and watch podcasts and stuff while I work. And figured why not just add to the fucking, you know, the scene and put my own shit out there. Your last live was dope. Yeah. Have you ever painted in Boston? Yeah. Have I painted in Boston? I actually don't know, man. I used to go out there to break with the homies, my floor lord dudes. El Nino and Lino. These are the homies in Boston. But to actually paint, I'm not sure if I have painted in Boston. Now that I really think about it. I could be wrong. It's been a lot of years. I'm not sure. Ran into me at 004. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I was out there a lot in the winters, man. That was like very predictable. Had a good run. Art Basel was fun for a bunch of years. It kind of washed out for me though. Turned into a bunch of corporate advertisements and fucking Lipton iced tea ads on walls and shit. It just kind of didn't. It just changed. My fam is out there. 004 is always fam to me. We got a lot of homies out there still. When I go back, I can check them. But as a whole, I just feel like the Art Basel itself is washed out. But Miami's my second home, man. I love it down there. And, you know, get that concealed carry. I'll be a cowboy out there. Responsible gun ownership, not some stupid shit. Dre, my man. Sorry I can join the stream cooking for the fam. It's all good, man. I know how it is, bro. We're gonna get it. Maybe Friday we'll do another one, like we were saying. You just missed it. The homie was like, "Yeah, your last live was dope." We're gonna do another one. Dre's gonna do an ad, a fake ad for my comic. So we'll probably work on that. But yeah, Art Basel used to be dope, man. I used to have fucking a blast doing that shit. I would go down there and smash it. Do like 6 walls. I was a machine. I was not waiting up for dudes. I was like, get out of my way. I had the paint hookup. My boy Eric at 004. I had endless paint. Every year I was leaving crates of paint for my boy Abstract and the other homies down there. I'd be leaving town. I'm like, yo, hold this crate of paint for when I come back. I come back, that should be gone. Yeah, the ads, Carlos. You didn't see any of them last time with me and Dre? I showed a couple of them. Got a lot planned, but I showed a couple of them. I can share a little. Let me share a little. So my thing is, man, like, you look at old comics, there's always ads, dude. You know what I'm talking about. for instance, let's see here. Pull anything out, see what we come up with. Can't find anything. Perfect example. Let's find something. So these are some of the ads. Trying to remix things that are legit ads from back in the day. Different visuals added to things that were actual ads. So these will all be a fun little, a whole experience, man. Every page is gonna have some content. This is just filler, so it'll actually make it like a nice experience when you're the Kung Fu ad, yeah. So I got a couple others. This one's kind of like an Atlantis. I'm gonna switch up the wording. Mail away for some protein powders and some magazine to fucking work out. There's others. I got a bunch of others. This is the one I just did with Dre. Still gotta incorporate the wording. So those are the ads. I have plenty. I got a bunch of homies that are gonna do some. Scheme Richards, this guy Japan Book Hunter. He's gonna do one. Dre's gonna do one. Should be dope. And you know, I'm sure people will try and copy off of it or whatever, but I thought it was a good idea when I thought about it. Might not even be the first to do it. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's made fun of those old ads. They're classic. Those pages are hilarious. You look at them now, those pages are almost silly. Mickey Mike, what it is. It's getting a little playful with these rubber masks. These masks are supposed to be kind of like rigid shapes that people would put on to rob a bank, but I'm kind of giving them a little speed and action and changing shapes with them. Just being playful. I'm just giving this guy some fucked up teeth behind the mask. Makes you kind of wonder what he looks like. This is the spot where he's telling his boy, we out, we got the money, let's go. Next scene is them making a dash to the door, which is going to be fucking hilarious. I'm not going to spoil it, but trust me, the next 2 pages are fucking hilarious. Give him that meth mouth. Yeah, he's kind of got to have some fucked up teeth already. That meth mouth. Yeah, it was funny. I was watching, this was already a concept that I had planned out as one of the little pit stops in my story, a little bank robbery. And I just happened to watch, put on, what is it, Fast Break? No, Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. And these dudes robbed the bank with like Richard Nixon masks and shit. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I always put on movies in the background when I'm working, but I was like, let me actually stop and watch this because this is a great like inspiration for what I have to draw. And I was already going to do masks anyway. But they really had a playful scene with them robbing the bank dressed with like Nixon and Reagan and shit. It's pretty funny. A couple bank robbery scenes, but I think the first one in particular was pretty good. Man, that movie was dope as a kid. It's goofy now, but fucking, what's his name? Nicholas? No, Gary Busey? Who the fuck's the other guy in that shit? Hilarious. That dude is such a weirdo. Keanu Reeves' partner. Forget his name. Gary Busey? Anyway. Funny ass movie. Little cameo of, was it Flea? I think was in that. Or was it the other guy from Chili Peppers? One of them has a cameo in there. He's like a punk surfer. Alright, I'm gonna throw some black. It was Flea, yeah. One of them, I knew it was one of them. It's always cool through the years if you're really paying attention, and you know, if you feel like me, I grew up in hip hop, and then, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, but I was also a skater, so I was heavily influenced by like West Coast punk, you know, Venice Beach punk, Chili Peppers, and Hollywood fucking rock music like Jane's Addiction and shit. So I was seeing Flea get a lot of cameos back in the day. And if you didn't know who he was just like another punk, weird looking dude in these movies. But yeah, Anthony Kiedis and him were both getting like a bunch of cameo roles in movies through the years. It's kind of cool, because they weren't like your commercial Hollywood style looking dude. These guys were like weirdos. And all of a sudden you'd get like Flea or fucking, I don't know, Henry Rollins would be in a movie as like a weird villain cameo. I always thought that was pretty cool. See shit like that. This background is going to have a lot of black with some action lines going this way. I like long action lines because it's going to show movement. I'm making a fast dash out. But for now, I'm just going to draw the black and the white, and I will come back later with the lines and the detail. So who's in here for the first time? Everybody's been here for a while? Was this my third video? Got a couple revisitors. I saw Mickey Mike. I don't think I've seen that name before. Do you work off thumbnails? Yeah, man. Dude, I work on way too many thumbnails, dude. My roughs are like legendary. Dude, come on. I got like versions of shit. Look at this. I ain't no Kim Jong-gi, if that's what you're asking. That dude is off the head. I work out my layouts, then I print them out in the 11 by 17. And sometimes I'll work on top of the prints just to kind of work on details. So I'll just gather my thoughts for when it's time to actually get going. I kind of have 50 things at once, kind of getting ready to drop. Jeanette, Carlos's wife, thank you for joining us. That's rad. Meeting the whole family. Good stuff. Mickey, long time fan. That's dope, man. Got the wifey and you got the whole fam on a Wednesday. Damn. I appreciate you guys. Carlos was telling me you guys saw Brainlington down at the museum. Now you got a piece of art coming. That's pretty dope. I might be seeing Carlos soon, maybe in December. Maybe December. I think December. I gotta check Technique. He's the plan organizer of all that stuff, so we'll see if he follows up on his side, whether or not I can hop down there for a week or so. My jiu-jitsu teacher is down there opening another school, so I may bop around, go check him for a little bit, check Technique. I paint. Might get it in. Nice little get out of New York in the middle of winter for me, so see how that goes. Ram G. It's good. Hit the like button, Dre says, for sure. Yeah, get the likes up, folks. Dre knows. Dre's super helping me out with this stuff, man. You guys don't even know. He is helping me. All right, let's get some blacks in here. Heavy on the black. I love foreground, background contrasts with a little bit of shading in the middle. This is a really good dope pen, Permapaque. I don't know if you know about this, Dre. I think when you draw, you're like a Sharpie dude, right? This stuff is dope because it's kind of like a nice surface. And then you can go back over it with like a white acrylic medium if you need to. It doesn't bleed through. I love these shits, man. Oh, he took him to 5 points the last year was standing. Yeah, that's history, man. New York. That fucking building. Sorry for my cursing. That building went through years of different eras. Used to be called the Fun Factory back in the 90s. Before it was the 5 points, they called it. But yeah, it was a shady spot back in the 90s. Took a bunch of French guys there to paint. Ran into some weirdos back there, man. It was crazy. Used to be like a taxi cab parking lot back there where there was just condoms and shit all over the place and big wooden signs that's like no prostitution, and I guess it was just a weird parking spot at nighttime for like scandalous behaviors. Queens was notorious back then for that shit. That little area. Taxi drivers would be back there, and years later, I'd heard stories about like people getting arrested for graffiti in Queens, and the cops would pick them up and handcuff them, and put them in the back of the squad car, and these dudes would think that they're going to the precinct to get booked, and then they would drive back to behind the Fun Factory, and there'd be like 5 other police cars parked waiting, and they would just beat the shit out of these kids on some, like, they called it what do they call it? Wooden shampoo. They would beat you with a fucking nightstick. You'd be bleeding in your hair and shit. And then, if you were lucky, they would just leave you. You wouldn't get booked. 'Cause I think back then, I'm pretty sure it was kind of like you kind of would get clowned by the other cops for bringing in a graffiti dude. I think it was like petty shit. Like if you're bringing in someone for writing graffiti, they'd like make fun of you. Like, bitch, we're out here fucking dealing with the real crime in the city, and you're bringing this shit in. I think it was almost like an embarrassment if you were like a seasoned cop to be bringing in a graffiti writer. I could be wrong. These are the things that I had been told, so it's just my hearsay. Yeah, when that came around in the 90s, it was a different story. People were definitely getting bagged. Vandal Squad was not playing. It was different times. I talked a little bit about that with Dre on his. You painted there? Let me find out. I gotta see pics, man. I want to see what you were painting back in the day. You were talking about that. And yo, Dre is talking to Carlos and these guys about how you did a podcast and you're just calling homies on the phone. That's a dope idea, man. I think I'm gonna get into that shit. Just give my homies a call. Let them sit on the live with me when I'm working. It's a good excuse to catch up with people that you don't talk to. And I listened to you and Seth talking, man. That was dope. Catching him in traffic, just driving home. I forgot how funny that dude was, man. Rob was a funny fucking dude. He sounded good talking to him on the phone. It was weird. I felt like I was eavesdropping on you guys. Yeah. There's always shit out there on the floor. I've seen bullet shells, everything in New York on the streets. I found like $600 once in the street, walking on the sidewalk. Big bills. I've seen everything out here, man. friends of mine have come across body parts while painting on the highways in the Bronx and shit. I've seen and heard many stories. I've seen a lot of crazy shit myself. Shit's different now. New York is like fucking Disneyland for adults, dude. That's why I don't go out much. It's not the same. Yeah, talking with Totem would be dope. It's funny, I just went to Atlanta a couple of times. And, you know, we did. He's got a sick podcast set up. If you guys are not on Totem's YouTube, definitely get on it because we recorded 2 really dope podcasts, and the first one's about to drop. And I'm telling you, we went in, and his shit is dope. That's good. It's a good reminder. I gotta get him on here. He's gonna drop a podcast soon. So the thing is, I don't know. His setup is a little weird. His computer setup is in his office, and it's pretty loud. So I'm not sure if I can get him to do a live broadcast like this, but I'll see, you know. Maybe if he did it after hours, after he gets the kids dropped off and stuff. He's got his hands full down there, man. They just painted at some event this past weekend. I was pissed. I saw the photos. I was like, fuck, man, you should have told me. I would have came down. The whole squad painted. I guess it was like an Atlanta event that they threw down there. I saw the video. I know a lot of artists. It's great to hear everyone's perspective and drive for what they do. Yeah, man. That call with Sess was cool. It was a little bit like a surprise, you know? I think that was like a private video. You sent me the link, and I kind of followed through. I tried to find it on a computer. I had to follow the link and listen to it. But, yeah, man. If I can get this shit set up to where I can kind of make phone calls and just kind of have homies on, like, speaker, I think I'm going to do that, because that's a good way for me to catch up with some of the homies I don't get to talk to too often. I got a fucking Rolodex, man, people I need to catch up with. But, yeah, you got to get Yes 2 on a call. I'll be hilarious. That's another funny motherfucker. That's my dog. Known that dude for a long time, too. Ladies of the night walking around. Yeah, Queens was crazy. Oh, it's turning into a red light district. Dude, I used to get off the 59th Street Bridge with homies on like a Friday night, and you kind of would loop around a block or two to get onto like local streets. And yo, you would take a turn, and it was just like a zombies standing out. It was crazy. And this is in the 90s, early 2000s. It was still like that. I just couldn't believe that stuff was still going on. So prominent, like on a Friday night. Like these chicks were just standing around waiting to get picked up. I was like, this is wild. And yeah, I'm sure shit's changed now, but dude, that was crazy to see that stuff. Queens was nuts. I think up by what is it, Hunts Point was notorious for that shit. You'd know better than I would, Dre. But yeah, I think the Bronx could still be crazy. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I didn't realize you didn't know he has a shop, man. His shop is killing it. I think it's killing it. I know it's not that fun to be selling paint, but I think he's doing pretty good. I hope he's doing good. I know he's supplying like that whole area of paint, so hopefully he's making some good money off of that. Yeah, Yes 2's dope. Yes 2 is dope. He's been around a long time. I think he's more my age. When I was coming up, I knew he was in the squad that he was in, but he was a younger dude too. So I think when I linked up with him, I kind of related a little bit more to him because we were sort of the same age group. But yo, he was, as long as I remember seeing his stuff, he was always dope. His style was always dope. I think the first piece I ever did in New York, that day we went for a little photo hike, me and my boy Rez and some people. We went around and took pictures, and there just happened to be a couple Yes 2 pieces on the train track spots that we were walking. And I look back now and I'm like, yo, this dude had his shit rocking like when I was still figuring it out. This dude was already dope. He was doing backup names, funky ass aliases, and he had a really dope style. I met him years later. You know. And he's a funny motherfucker, man. This goes to show you could be good at what you do and you don't have to be a fucking asshole. That dude is just cool. He's a king of one-liners, and I think it's just from coming from guys like Sess and whoever. Maybe it's just his personality, but yo, those dudes always have funny one-liners. I always had fun with that dude when I kick it with him. What's up, Dre? Did you do a live today? You've been killing it. I seen you like in the past week. You did like 3 of them or some shit. I'm like, this guy's on a tear. It's probably just the norm, right? And you keep things for later, to post later, right? You got a regiment. I think you go to an office to work too. That's probably helps. Got my 80s music in the back. I hope no one can hear it so it doesn't get flagged. Got some Rod Stewart playing. Anyway, Dre Dragon was crazy on that last live. Yeah. I want to get Yes to Wayne and Wen on the phone. Yeah, that'd be dope. All 3 of them got different personalities, man. That'd be fun. I wonder what Wen's doing these days. I ain't spoke to him in years. Yeah, it's a good way to have them on the phone if they're not like up and rocking stuff on YouTube. You just call them on the phone. I think you had it on a speaker, which is it was like a light bulb moment for me. I was like, well, I actually can just have other people on it. Don't even need to have a page. I can just pick up the phone, give them a little heads up. Yo, I'm doing a little YouTube live. I'm gonna give you a shout. Pick up the phone. Depends when you catch them. You had homie in traffic. It was perfect. It was cool hearing you guys catch up too. I hit him up the next day. I was like, yo, when are we painting? We're due for something. Yeah, just taking my time with this shit. I'm not trying to rush it. I think I was rushing in the beginning, but I'm slowing it down. You copped that BJJ rash guard a while back. Balance and flow. Oh yeah, from was that Mike over in Jersey? My homie Mike. I actually didn't. I wasn't part of that. That was just my artwork. Mike Wilson, I think, right? He's over there. Gorilla BJJ. I did a couple graphics for him through the years, and he made some rash guards. They're dope. They sent me one of those. Yeah. It's always cool to see your stuff come out on rash guards. The quality's good. It's all good, Dre. We here. This time I got a phone plugged in. No more low battery alerts. I'm set. I'm learning. Check the cup, Dre. Got my coffee up here. Old and tired, but also fight me. Just having some fun. Yeah, it was heat. How'd you cop that? You copped that through the Balance and Flow guys, or you copped it through Mike at Gorilla? Where'd you get that rash guard? I was late to it. I caught it and I was like, oh shit. Should have told me. I would have helped you promote it. They sent me one though. They took care of me. There's my dog right here. Yeah. You see that? Likes the homie. He's got a good thing going over there. And is it Wappinger's Falls? No, I don't know where he's at. Somewhere in Jersey. North Jersey. Ah, yeah, I tagged it. I probably did. I probably was late to posting it. Monday to Fridays, I do 4 to 5 hours. 4 to 5 hour stream. God damn. That's heavy, man. That's a lot of work. Yo, I saw some chick you were tattooing. You posted yesterday. Was it yesterday? Looks crazy. Your work looks so good on chicks, man. I'm not gonna lie. When you get that full body, that back, the legs, everything, it's gotta feel dope when you get a finished result. That's really dope. Yeah, I'm figuring it out, Dre. I think the content's important first. First and foremost, the content's important. I'm not just aimlessly posting. This is stuff I'm working on, so I think it's good for promoting, and people get kind of invested in the project you're working on, and when it comes out, it'll be that much more impacting, I think. Like that David Finch dude, I keep bringing him up, but like, I used to watch his Monday night draws for a while. While I was working, I would listen to it and draw and glance over him, and and then I think when I met him, he had the book. He had a book published of that whole year's YouTube art that they published. So I was like, oh, I gotta cop that. I kind of feel like I was there for a lot of that shit. So I picked the book up, got it signed. He was super cool about it, and that's one of the things that rang back to me. I was like, oh, if I work on this comic project with the viewers, it's kind of like you guys are kind of invested in seeing how it came together. I think that's kind of special. So plus it's my first, so why not? Well, I mean, I've been published, but this is my first solo project. Why not? So yeah, I don't want to get into too many of the patterns in here. I'm going to do that after, when I can actually turn the paper. And I'll do a couple live organic striping here, just because I want to do a little bit. But I'll work on the top panel after this. For now, I'm just going to do a little bit. Some ribbing, turtleneck ribbing. So I think this, in my mind, when I go back to painting, I think I'm going to paint this dude's in like a brown turtleneck, mock neck kind of ribbing. You can always get stupid with all these little lines. And I kind of dig that shit. Love textures and organic feeling lines. Speaking of Blondie, I don't know if you could hear her, but she's playing in the back. But anyway, yeah. Dre's got the blueprint. I'm very grateful to be able to fuck with you, dude. We're gonna do more. And I gotta get my hours up on here. Broadcasting hours. I'm close though for the yearly thing to get some monetized shit popping. But I gotta keep doing it, so slow and steady. Ain't going nowhere. everybody's rocking this live stuff now, man. How am I late to this party? How am I this late? I was doing video blogs on YouTube fucking 13 years ago. I fucked up, man. A little blind spot. I should have been on this stuff. How am I gonna solve this little problem here? Solve this. Just like that. Carlos, EWOK, you're doing another round of the black books. It's funny, man. I wanted to, because that would have been a really great Christmas gift for yourself. You know, like sometimes people want to buy something for themselves and shit. But I already did 10 black and white pages, right? So I was like, well, what's next? I don't want to do the same thing. So I was like, well, maybe next year I'll do 10 color pages. Because I tested the waters, man. That was very, I think it was like $400, which is really cheap, dude, for like a full black book page. And like through the years, people will be asking me, yo, can I send you my black book and you do a page? And I'm like, I can't do that shit, man. It's too time consuming, and I got other things going on. So I tried to hustle 10 black book pages for people who don't know what we're talking about. But it was like the brand new black book. I just set it off with a number 1 to 10. I do 1 to 2 pages. I think it was 2 pages. And it was all black and white. And then like I would sell the book, and you could take that book and now go and get it signed and have people hit it or whatever you want to do with it. But it's not like people sending me their black book. And so I thought, fuck, man, these things sold out fast at $400 a pop, which was cool. I just wanted to kind of give something back and make a couple bucks. I wasn't really too concerned about it. And then I kind of thought about, like, maybe I'll do 10 color pages. That would be fucking dope. But then I would have to charge more, spend way more time. And so, to be honest, I just don't think I can hit the 10 numbers colored by Christmas. So I may do it. If I get a little bit of, you know, interest and shit like that, I probably would do it again, because a couple of homies missed out on it, and I know they were kind of bummed. And it was fun for me, because I got to get my headspace in that shit for a little while. I love letters. I always love letters. But I got my hands full right now, man. I'm working on a few different things for a few different people. Trying to organize my time correctly and put the right amount of work into each project. It's very important to me that I try and keep things balanced. So if I do it, man, I'll definitely let people know. So it was fun. I think color would be dope. People were into that shit. Tried to grab one, but was late. Yeah, you're not the only one, man. I had a lot of people upset that they missed it, especially like friends of mine. I'm like, dude, I can't, you know, I can't do anything more than just let homies know. Like sometimes people just don't catch it, and then they miss out, and they feel like, you know, oh, I'm your boy, like you can't hook me up. I'm like, I could have, maybe if you reached out when it was going down, I could have put one aside for you, maybe. But like, if I don't hear from you, what am I gonna do? Just hold things for people? Like, I gotta take care of the guys that do support. You know what I mean? I got a good, solid support system group, and I gotta take care of these people that support me. But yeah, it's cool. I've done stuff in the past too, that like stuff like that, like limited edition books with Jim and Carla did a book back in the day, and I did, I think, like 40 or covers or 20 inside covers. I just drew like a character on the inside and printed out my own cover, and I made like a special edition with them. And those things fucking flew and disappeared. Like, I don't even see anybody post those things these days. That stuff never pops out. Those are like permanent collections. It's funny, some fucking clown that I think you used to know, Dre, a tattoo artist that used to fuck with Sess, who moved away. Like the minute he saw me doing those books, he ran out and bought a whole bunch of them and copied the same fucking project. And I don't think any of his shit sold. But he thought I wouldn't notice that he fucking copied my idea. But I see everything. And that motherfucker is nowhere to be found. Just like a lot of people through the years come and go, try to exploit the culture, and then they don't get what they want out of it, and they fucking just try and move on to some other shit. Never to be heard from again. Got 10 people watching, that's pretty good. On a Wednesday night. I ain't mad. Here. Let's see. What are we talking about with lighting? There's some shadows here. Let's go to Dre knows what I'm talking about. I see that little emoji. The lines in the sleeve. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is me trying to draw up and down. Once I get to being able to turn the paper and stuff, I'll get into some other textures. But for now, I just want to get the loose overall feel. I'll come back and get all up in the weeds. Yeah, no, shit like this. Problem is, I could do this for fucking hours. But I gotta keep a certain energy going through the layout, and I'll come back in and do all the cool shit later. Pick my light sources a little better and focus on that. I'm gonna work on this. That'll work. Dre's emoji. He knows what I'm talking about. You guy's a fucking weirdo too, man. Let me tell you. Guy's a mega fucking hater. And I had nothing against that dude either. He's just a shit talker. He was bringing a lot of insecurities along with him. Caused him to act a certain type of way. Every time I come out to paint, Doofus would have some stupid shit to say. I think it was just felt threatened. But I was a little cocky bastard back in my 20s, so I probably deserve some of it. I don't blame nobody. I've had to mend a lot of bridges through the years. this some shadow. Burning out my marker. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun with these hands when I get all up in here. Let me just chill. It's tempting, but I gotta come back to that stuff. I'm gonna nail this cargo pocket that you can see on the other page from the front. So I gotta tie this back. And I got my references on the side that you can't see. Let's do some long lines. How about that? Keep them nice and loose. Feeling organic and fun. Come in here and do some of these. Wrinkles are fun. Wrinkles are always fun. I feel like Bob Ross. You can add a wrinkle here and a wrinkle there. Yep. Believe I know the writer you air him out on Instagram. Nah, I don't think it's who you're thinking of, Carlos. This is just some obscure dude that's not really around these days. I know who you're thinking of, though. That dude don't get no airplay on my shit. Put out a statement, kept it moving. It's my responsibility to my peers to let them know what I know, and then I'm out. You gotta conduct yourselves accordingly. The guy I'm talking about is somebody that is a tattoo guy, I think, maybe. For all I know, he's probably didn't get what he wanted out of that. Maybe he's onto some next shit. I don't fucking know these dudes. But, yeah, this dude was a buffoon. But, tried to make a little impact at one point with Graph. Made a fool of himself, I think. Always into some drama. And then just disappeared. I think he tried to exploit graffiti for financial benefits at one point somehow. Didn't work. And then I think he's into some other shit now, which is good riddance. There's no shortage of fucking clowns and Graph, I'll tell you that. So once they check out, I ain't looking for them after that. Yeah, it's always clowns. Sometimes you gotta air them out. Sometimes you just gotta let them do themselves and get out of their way. A lot of these dudes, man, they do themselves in. I posted something today or yesterday. Never argue with an idiot because it just shows that there's two idiots. I think that's what something like that. It was amazing. I was like, that's fucking perfect. I haven't entertained these motherfuckers. Radio silence on all fronts. If I cut somebody off, that's it. I I got my own things to do. I don't talk to you. I don't deal with you. Nothing to say. You had your chance. Let's see here with this gun. What's going on with you guys tonight? What's up with everybody? You on a phone? You on a computer? How are you watching this? Curious. I go heavy in the foreground. These lines. Push this into the foreground. Hit that like if you guys already didn't. TV, phone, and iPad. God dang, you guys are killing it. Appreciate it. Might be meeting you guys in December if everything works out when I come down. Let's see. Laptop. That's what's up. In the car, but audio was low. Gotcha. Yeah, I think I figured that out. I'm learning. I'm learning. Dre, you missed it. I had the fucking piece of tape over the selfie camera. And I think it was muffling my audio for a little bit in the beginning. The video's gonna sound like it's in a closet underwater in a bathtub. Whatever. Next time it'll be better. I have all the guns. He's been hounding me to go. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do it. I'll let you guys know my dates. Maybe we can all kind of make it a group effort. I know he'd be hyped on that. The Bob Ross stuff. Yeah, I was just saying how like they jerked him, man. His management, I think it was like a husband and wife team, just contractually jerked him out of his name and everything. His son doesn't get a penny. It's kind of fucked up. Because he's that dude. Well, he was that dude. idea for this background. I'm gonna try some shapes, suggestive shapes, instead of doing crazy roof ceiling and stuff that I did on my last background, which was cool. It's just, it's too much. I think it takes too much focus out of the art. So this one I want to do like suggested background shapes, blocked in shadow for the ceiling and then light coming in the front. Play with that and see how it feels. What's that? Fun outdoor scenarios in December when I come down? Definitely gonna be fun. Definitely gonna be fun. I'll let you guys know for sure. So yo, Dre, I don't know if he's still here, but I got to see David Finch again last month, and this time he brought out like plastic binders of like his fucking work. He didn't have that with him last time. He was selling some stuff, but it wasn't anything like what he brought out this time. Yo, I got to see some of these dudes' pages. Oh my god. The prices were crazy. I was definitely not buying any of it. But to get to see the amount of detail in this dude's pages, that dude is no joke. He is definitely on top of his game. David Finch is killing it. He is one of the dudes really doing solid black and white inking on top of his stuff. Man, he did some, I don't know, some zombie shit, maybe some Walking Dead type of stuff. I don't know what it was for. God damn. There was one page I had like a whole sea of like zombie faces, all black and white, just insane details. Like, this is insane. I mean, talk about coming back with some inspiration after seeing that shit. And you know, I'm familiar with his work for years, but to see it in person, it's always another experience in itself. Sounds like fun. The Orlando place, yeah. If you have a favorite dessert, let me know. Pastry chef, oh shit. I mean, it depends what you make. I kind of stick to a certain type of food regimen for my training these days, so snacks are few and far. Depends though. You can always make exceptions, especially when you're out of town. It's very hard to eat healthy. But yeah, I definitely stay away from a lot of stuff for my training. What kind of stuff do you make? That's pretty cool though. Switch to the small stuff here. Just throw this in the mix. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and get my boy Totem to hop on one of these with me. Even if I gotta call him on the phone. He's a character. I think you guys would get a kick out of hearing him shoot the shit. It's funny. I live in New York, been here for years. I've sort of, I don't want to say I bite my tongue, because I definitely am not known for biting my tongue. I've pissed a lot of people off through the years for actually saying what's on my mind. But there's a certain way you carry yourself in terms of talking in New York when it comes to other people. And it's funny because when I catch Totem, it just makes me laugh because that dude just does not give a fuck. That dude just says whatever the hell's on his mind. He does not care. And I definitely have that too, but I try to be mature in a way that kind of represents maybe the friends I'm with or who I'm with. I don't want to kind of speak for other people. And it's funny because that dude he just does not give a fuck. And I love him for that. He's too fucking funny. So yeah, when we got into a podcast, we did his podcast, two of them. He's on some shit. And it brings out a certain element in it for me too, but he does not care. That dude is asking me questions, dropping names, talking this. He's a funny fucking dude. Yeah, it'd be good to have him on one of these. Maybe we'll do something on just letters, graph shit. Get him to sit and draw. If I can get him set up with it. I don't know if he's got a setup for that. I could do keto and vegan or make it your cheat day. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I eat healthy. I guess you could say it's vegan, but I don't consider myself like a vegan type of dude because that's more of like a cultish kind of mentality. I generally don't eat salt, oils, meat, um, and it's not processed food for the most part. I have my cheat days, pizza, and sometimes if I'm out at a restaurant, something's got chicken, I'll eat it. I'm not like a militant monk type of shit, but I do steer away from things. So when I do have it, it's more of a like a little treat. And it's not like some of these dudes be running around like putting their vegan on their social media, like carrying it like a fucking badge of honor. Like I'm not into any of that shit. I just know for me and my training and like I'm not into the, you know, animal killing and the chicken industry and all that shit. It's fucking gross when you look into it. So I just steer away from it. My girl cooks real clean. She's healthy. She's more militant than I am. So just by close proximity of her cooking, I eat super healthy, man. And I'll tell you, it's not something I would maybe stick to so much myself if it was just me, just out of convenience. But she kills it with the cooking and the flavoring and the seasoning. So it's not even hard, man. We kill it with like the meals. But when it comes to like, desserts and shit, sometimes you want that red velvet cupcake or Cinnabon or whatever, and it's like I eat healthy, so when I want something like that, I don't feel guilty. I can just go off the reservation and have it. And I think it's smart to be regimented with your eating, but also, you know, have fun when you want to have fun. And I don't torture myself like some of these dudes who were vegetarian and they miss all like the vitamins and intake, and after a few years these dudes just walking around looking like crackheads because they're just not getting the protein and vitamins they need, but they're on some high horse because they think they're eating vegetarian. A lot of those dudes are not healthy, and sugar's vegan, so like don't get me started on vegan. There's a lot of misconception with the food industry, and I've been to some vegan restaurants where the food is just trash. It's like junk food. It's like fast food vegan shit. It's like, that's not healthy. If you want to be healthy, you can cut back on salts and sugars and oils in your cooking. There's a lot of oil in cooking. People just don't realize it's just dumping oil, and that shit goes right into your blood. But yeah, monk fruit's good. Depends how it's done. That stuff can be weird. I've tried it all: stevia, monk fruit, all that stuff. I use monk fruit and everything. Also, my daughter is ADHD, diet, so zero preservative and dyes in the whole foods, the whole house. Good, good for you. She's taking care of you. Yeah, it's cool, man. The more you hear these days, people are smart. They're getting away from this American diet, man. It's disgusting. The portion size, the amount of sugar. I've been fortunate to travel a lot, so if you get to England, my girl's from England, so like the cleanliness and the food and the portion sizes is totally different, man. If you see it, you come back here, it just looks like a bunch of fucking slobs. It's really crazy how the food industry here just gears you to like upsize sodas and like it's just out of control. So, you know, I'd never push any of that shit on anybody. But if you're curious, I could definitely go down a rabbit hole with that stuff. And for my training, man, it's really healthy for me to eat better and, you know, no sodas. I drink a lot of water, juices, not juices like orange juice and stuff like that, but like coconut water and stuff like that when I can. You know, call it the gallon challenge in jiu-jitsu and wrestling. I try and drink a gallon of water a day if I can get it. I have protein drinks twice a day, morning and night. Electrolytes for working out, and slowly gonna start introducing a little bit of creatine in my workout just for recovery and stuff like that. But you know, a lot of water. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that. We're doing art here. A little bit though, if anybody was curious. Everybody's got their go-tos for food. Don't get me wrong, man. You get me around a good barbecue, I'm fucked. I can't stay away from that stuff. But I try to stay away from meats and stuff like that if I can. Yeah. You start to find out when you get older, you start paying attention to weird shit. Guide to my health. It's funny because a friend of mine in LA, he's like a really, like a famous, he's a dancer, but I mean, he's just a choreographer in the scene, in the industry out there in LA. And I've trained with him for years. Back in the day, you know, we're going neck and neck, training together. And I'm like, yo, how do you have stamina? Stamina's crazy. And look at you, you're shredded. And I was like, what the fuck do you eat? What's your diet like? And it just so happened that just as I'm saying this to him, we're taking a break from dancing, old break dancer, b-boy. And he's like, bro, look at you. Look what's in your hand. And I hold up my hand and I'm like, I got a can of soda. And he's like, I don't drink that shit. He's like, I drink water. It's like, first of all, get rid of that fucking soda. And it was just an eye-opener at that time. Because I think just being tired, you grab a can of soda and think that's helping you. And I was like, this dude was right, man. No one had ever told me to stop drinking soda. And I think, like, when I got out of that shit, immediately, I fucking dropped, I think, like, 12 pounds or some shit. It's a game changer. Right off the bat, game changer. And then slowly I got into drinking some ginger ale just to try and wean me off of soda. And then I started switching up to like seltzer and stuff. I drink a lot of seltzer now. Different flavor seltzers. But yeah, soda was the vice, man. Growing up, fucked my teeth up. All that shit. Soda's horrible. It's good. It's good as fuck. It's horrible. Every once in a while I'll get like a Mexican Coke. Treat myself. Or there's this shit called Manhattan soda. Some pizza spots have it. That stuff is crack. Don't get me started on that shit. You lose half of it when you open the bottle, but it's incredible. Stuff always explodes when you open it. But that stuff is insanely good. Almost gave this guy an extra finger. I just realized I had to break out the white. Devo in the back. I don't know if you guys can hear it. The 80s tracks. The 80s tracks are keeping me going. Gotta have some music playing. Keeps me in a little bit of a zone. I don't even know how long we're on for. We got a 2 hours 10 minutes. Dr. Brown's, yeah, they got some good stuff. Again, I try to stay away. That stuff's bad. Throws me off my game. Couple days of soda, it's over. I think Dr. Brown had a root beer, ginger ale. There's a couple good ginger ales out there too, not gonna lie. Alright, I'm loosening up the page here. No more takedown. Let's do some mobile stuff. This is the back of the hand. It's going to be shadowed heavy, so I didn't want to do too much detail until I can figure out what the lighting's going to look like. I'll go with something like this. Try and carry it through. Trying to be loose and playful with the gradients. Stuff that I appreciate when I see it in other people's work. I have more fun when it's all loose. Can always come back with white if I need it. But when I come back to paint this stuff later, game over. It is gonna be game over. Still a little muscle tone here. Black made everything pop. Yeah, man. I got my hard blacks for backgrounds, hot whites for the foreground, and there's just this mid-tone range where you could have such a good time with just little lines like this and textures. And I don't know, man. I don't consider myself really like an inker type of dude, but I just love dropping like textures with white in the middle, so later it just kind of has air coming through it. Like, it just feels great. And I just love how it makes a page look like it's just been worked. You know, you got guys like are really technical and they have like a certain look to their lines, and it can make a page look just insane. And I think it's funny because the whole concept of inking is sort of an outdated thing. Like, that was done because the print quality back in the day just couldn't capture line art for pencil to get printed properly. So an industry was set up to make the pencil artist's work stand out to the printer. And then we're at a point now with printing, like, you can print in pencil now if you really wanted to. Printers can pick up any of that stuff. So when you think about it, the art of inking is like outdated, but it's become its own style to where like people have certain cross hatchings and it's their whole style. It's just how much work. And this guy John Wayshak, if you follow this, if you see who this guy is, his inking lines are just insane. His work is just, it's all about the lines and the hatchings and the cross hatchings and the gray tones and the splats of white and the scratches and motion and speed. You can really make a piece of paper just look like a work of art. And so I can't really, I can't see myself being on that level. But, you know, I'd like to do my version of it if I can. And it takes a little while to get warmed up, for me anyway. But there's a lot of Europeans and Spanish countries and South American countries, inkers are just, they're really killing it. For Italians, you know, it's just, everybody has different styles. That if you can kind of digest it all and put it through your own little style, you can kind of be influenced by a lot of stuff and try and rehash it back through your work and your own style. I think that can kind of have fun results. I don't consider myself a traditional inker, so I try to just have fun and be playful with my stuff. I think that translates. Think of this shirt, it's kind of like a plaid shirt. I have a couple lines going through it. Go this side. Again, I appreciate you guys kicking it. Hopefully it's not too boring. I'll keep doing this stuff. I know people out there really love the live stuff, man, so I know it'll grow. Dre's got his homies. I think once you start to realize it's a regular thing, people mentally subscribe to it and check for it. Put the notifications on. Today was a little surprise, a Wednesday. I think I'm gonna try and do maybe 2 a week if I can figure out free nights to do it. Tonight might be coming to a close. I don't know how much more I could keep doing this. Forgot the collar. Back of the guy's neck. Let's see. guy. A little grade on the top. If I can figure out a little style to run with to translate it. There's a thumb back there. It's gonna get lost. This guy's hand on the table. Ignacio Javier Martinez. What's going on, brother? Good to have you. About 2 hours in. About to sign off soon, I think. I appreciate you checking. The back of this guy's head, separated from the table darkness underneath the table. This ear I wanted to pull out a little bit. Give this guy's cheek a little definition. A couple strands of hair. Lip. This weird finger knuckle going on. Page 15. It's going. Slow and steady. Page 15. It's really like page 20 something with all the ads. If I go by the layout. I got a lot of pages already locked in. But we're good on this. We're getting there. They're going quick. I don't really put too much into it. I could, you know, keep going with the crazy detail and like this kind of thing. I could do a lot of this to give this a back shadow of the shirt under the arm here. Very easy for me to just spend a lot of time with these little lines. But you can also overwork a page. I've done that. Just get carried away. Sometimes you gotta tell yourself when to turn it off. A tasteful balance of good lines and knowing when to let the light breathe. You can definitely overwork cross hatchings. Some people just get lost in it. Just killing their shit. Overworking it to the point where it's just too much chaos and lines. It doesn't reproduce too well. It's like watching a funky Frank Miller. He's a fucking G. I just met him like last month for the first time at a signing here in New York. He's getting old. I kind of had to force myself to come out to it because I was like, I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to meet this guy again. So I got some nice stuff signed. Let me see here if I can find it. Yeah, man, you just said the right words. Look at that. I got that signed. I don't know if you can see it. I got, look at that. If that's not official, I don't know what is. If you know, you know. Bill Sienkiewicz art written by the original Frank Miller. I got this signed. To me, like this is a huge milestone, you know what I mean? I got other things too, but these were the three killers for me as a kid. That made a lot of impact for me to be able to meet this guy before he's taken away from us. If you know Frank Miller, he is that dude. Sin City, Dark Knight. I mean, it's on and on. I think he even was part of like RoboCop 3 or something on some level. Yeah, but Frank Miller, man. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could just throw topics out. I'll go off on a tangent. Keep me talking. I don't want to get nerding out on comics if people don't know what I'm talking about. But, you know. Yeah. It's weird. Comics kind of came and went for me as a kid. And it kind of came back during COVID. Started pulling out old books and buying old stuff off eBay of things that I wanted to reread. Stuff that I remembered back as a kid. And I don't really buy into comics these days. I'm not really a fan of the industry today. But, you know, there's still old stuff I definitely appreciate. And there's stuff going on now that I still buy. But not a lot. I really can't fuck with a lot of the comics today. Paper sucks. Coloring sucks. I'm not into it. I'm not into a lot of the industry stuff that's out there. There's still good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but not enough to get me excited. I figured it would be fun to just do my own weird comic shit. I'm still doing my painting. I didn't leave that behind. Just took a little hiatus for a while. But I was working on a couple commissions, and winter is always when I paint indoors a lot, so I'm going to be doing more painting. I'm trying to find a way to do painting on here live, but it's just such a full body thing, like, you know, pulling paint, pulling brushes, and it's not like sitting still and drawing. So I don't know if I can actually pull off painting, but I have about 3 or 4 pieces that I'm working on painting wise that I have to finish. So I was trying to think of how I could incorporate that with the channel. But the video blogs, I could always you know, time lapse them and then edit them later. But I really don't know if that stuff will translate well for lives. But yeah, still paint. Still have clients for that. Die-hard collectors. Very supportive. Got one of my homies just bought like 8 paintings of mine out in Jersey in one big fucking sweep. And that's crazy to me. This guy is not playing. He's been back a few times, and his whole house is just a gallery of my shit. It's fucking crazy to me. Because I'm used to selling like 1 or 2 pieces, maybe tops, to a client. This dude has bought, like, I think now he probably has like 11 paintings of mine. And for me to see that many pieces go out the door into one collection, it's kind of like a weird feeling to me. To see all your stuff go into one collection is really crazy. Because it's a big chunk of time for me. But, you know, it's kind of like, it's cool to see people really support you like that. Build good relationships with my clients. I consider them friends. Sometimes, you know, they'll send me like a case of wine or something weird. A good gesture, I think, is always cool. One guy bought me a bottle of whiskey. What was it, a Frank Sinatra Jack Daniels bottle? It was like a $500 bottle of whiskey. Let's see, what's the name of the comics you showed Dre on the last live? Because I had some fire in it. I did a Keith Giffen tribute yesterday. Oh, dope. Yeah, Keith Giffen died last week. It's crazy because I had just done that Lobo Batman cover and I didn't really consider him in it when I was doing it, but that's the dude behind that. Um, what'd you say, Carlos? Oh, the comic that I pulled out for Dre. You know, I'm constantly buying products that I like. Try to support people when they're alive. So it's this. It's I think it's a girl. I don't really know much about her because we didn't really speak that much in back and forth. I think I was either talking to her or her management, but it's they're Japanese. So they're on Instagram. What the fuck is the name here? I hate being an asshole. EPK or EPHK, I think. Let's see here. Let's give credit here. Let's do this. Um, EPHK, designed and edited, and I just kind of like the I'll flip to the more adult stuff. Just I love the way this guy, this artist does females, and the coloring process. It has a painterly feel, but it's all digital. So it's very unique. What you could consider adult content, I guess you could say. And it was a visual aid for me to be kicked in the ass of like what I could do with my own stuff. And great style. It's fun. Has like a vintage retro movie poster kind of vibe to it. And it's all matte, kind of has a nice 80s, 90s vibe to it, pre all that computery shit that I was talking about. Quality is great. So yeah, I got that. I got another one right here. This is the same artist. So EPHK, I guess. And I could be wrong. I don't want to say it wrong, but I think it's a Japanese girl. I could be completely wrong, honestly. And I'm calling me an asshole for not knowing, but I just wanted to support. I picked up two. They shipped it from overseas. I love the quality. It's got a nice matte finish, good spine. It's kind of like a graphic novel. It's got good thickness to it. Dre, it was crazy because I was able to buy the first 4 issues of Lobo from the 90s last month. Oh, yeah, those are 4 classics. I got them here, too. Dude, don't get me started. I'm pulling shit out. I got archives. Yeah, man. Those are 4 classic covers. I was able to see, I think, the second cover, Lobo's back. I think it's like a jean jacket, and there's like a big orange-yellow background painted around it. I got to see that painting in person last year. And, yo, let me tell you, I think those issues came out in, like, the 90s, you said? And, like, the printing was good on those issues, but the painting in person, dude. Oh my god. Next time I see you, Dre, I'm gonna show it to you. It's on my phone. I have those photos on my phone. And the coloring was incredible. The painting. And it was at a heritage auction. And it was in like a glass display case. And I think it was like coming up for auction, so they were just displaying what it was looking like in person if you were a potential buyer. Let me see if I can work on this lower half a little bit. Sorry for the all the camera moving. Doesn't work. Let's do that. We'll do that. But yeah, Dre, you're buying comics. That's cool. We're big kids, man. I'm in my fucking 40s buying comic books. It's really just a storytelling medium. done with pictures, which is as old as time. And you know, you'd be surprised how easy it is to publish shit today. It was almost impossible for an indie person to publish their stuff back in the day. Not no more. It is very easy to get shit published for yourself, I'm saying. So, I gotta try and keep this guy's jacket like a trench coat. So I'm gonna pull up. See, I went overboard, I think, with the hatchings last time. I'm definitely not gonna do this, but I gotta keep it still in the same kind of vibe. But definitely not going as crazy as that. That was ridiculous. Oh shit. Image comic trencher? I never even heard of that shit. Yeah, Sam Keith was... Don't even get me started on Sam Keith, bro. That guy was crazy too. But yeah, I never heard of Trencher. I know he did come over and do a couple, not come over, he was doing it from England, but I know he did a few Image covers for them back in the day. Yeah, I think so. Image had a couple different studios out west. I think Jim Lee had his studio, Rob Liefeld had his. There was Top Cow, I think was Silvestri's group of guys. And I don't know where Will Portacio was. He might have been with Jim Lee's squad at the time, but I know Bisley worked with, I think, Jim Lee's studio for a couple covers, some of the Image covers. I think he did a Deathstroke cover. No, not Deathstroke. I forget. Damn. Not Deathstroke. Who was the? I can't remember. But yeah, I know he did work with Image. I'm not familiar with Trencher. I gotta look into that now. I'm probably seeing the images. I'm very familiar with a lot of the work that he's done through the years with different companies for sure. As far as like geeking out and studying art, I know a lot of his body of work, and he is very prolific. And he's still killing it, man. Bisley is still killing it. He's an older dude. He was telling me his eyes are going, which is crazy to hear. It's like he wears glasses and shit now. But he's still crushing, man. Share the stream with your friends and family, everyone. Yeah, I don't know how you would. What do you send it to YouTube, or I mean, send it to like Facebook or some shit, or how do you share it with people? Like the link? I'm cool, man. Dre, it'll take time, but my people follow me. They'll come around. In the meantime, I get a couple of these numbers under my belt, put them up in the archives. I'm cool with people coming in a little later. I'm not worried about it. Slow and steady, man. I'm not going anywhere. No rush. But yeah, if you got friends and people think that somebody else might be into it, share. Share it. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. Just build little communities of people, especially these days with all this like algorithm shadow banning type of stuff going on. I just want to be in a place where my people can kind of know it's a solid thing on a steady basis. I'm always around. You know, you take care of me, I take care of y'all. And that's it, man. Just too much. The world's too cluttered with shit that I don't care about. I'm not subscribing to everything on Instagram. They're forcing everybody to see things that they don't even want to see. You know, so build your community. Let people support it if they want. That's it, man. They'll come around. I appreciate you, Carlos, man. You've been the MVP the past couple of weeks. I gotta be honest. Yo, you came to that auction on Bulletproof and hammered out the competition, bro. There was guys up in there gunning, and you fucking kicked everybody to the curb. I was like, damn. And you won a free bag and some comics involved in that thing, I think, too. Got a goodie bag coming. You got that Jim Lee bag. That's like a limited bag. I heard that. I was jealous. He made some backpacks. You got that coming. That meth mouth, he said. Oh, he's got some raggedy teeth. If I can flex it, I'll just put some fucked up teeth in the mix. She said it's my bag. Yeah, that was my first time getting my homies to go see that auction. So like, I didn't know if anybody would be able to jump in and understand how their little setup is, but it worked out good. A lot of guys came through and was hunting, fighting over that cover. It really was good turnout that night. So, hold it down a little bit. Let's see, what are we doing here? I think I'm going to pull out a bigger brush. Oh, yeah. This bad boy. So here we're going to try something. Speed lines. Let me get the glove on. Peace, Dre. Do you, man? I'll see you soon. We'll get the next one going. I'll talk to you, brother. Appreciate you coming through. Someone was beating him. Green light. That's dope. Support from the home front. That's what everybody needs. I like to hear that. Gotta be careful with this, man. This tape is serious. Look at that. I didn't even put that thing down. It's sticking like that. Fly paper. God damn. But yeah, if you, I guess, Carlos, you've seen Dre's page. He's a beast, man. The guy's tattoos are hunted for. That guy's serious with his tattoos. That guy's official. Let's put a piece back here. winding down for tonight, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap it a little bit more and call it a night. A little bit more. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I got some other stuff to do. I will continue working on this though, and I will probably try to rip this footage. FM bedtime, compadre. I'll check it soon. I like that you're doing this. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you guys swinging through. Hit the like buttons, guys, please. All that stuff helps, I guess, from what I'm told. So yeah, so far that's what I got for tonight. I will put up the final. I think I'm gonna use the footage for a video blog later. I'll time lapse the rest. But yeah, this is it for now. A little bit of action here. Bank scene. I appreciate you guys coming out. To be continued on the next one. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you guys soon.